Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today we're here in Boston on Boston Common, and today what I want to talk about is how you can see how your customers see you. Because the thing is when we look at ourselves, I mean, think about it, when I look in the mirror, do I look at myself in the bad way and give myself the double chins? No, I think of the best way possible. I'm standing up, looking down, oh, I look good, yeah? But the thing is, I'm not seeing it how my customers see me. I'm not seeing how my wife sees me. She's 5'3", 5'4", so she comes from a different angle. And we have to look at our company from a different angle as well if we're going to be able to see what we seem to look like online, especially from our customer's perspective. So I'm going to have you answer 3 questions to give you an idea of how people see you and what you can do with that, okay? And the thing is, my first thing I have for you is put yourself in Google and tell me what shows up. I mean, think about it. Put yourself in incognito mode or safe mode or whatever. So there's no cookies, nothing's based on what you've searched before, and just search and see what comes up. Put your company name in. What comes up? Are you on the first page, second page? Do you even show up? Put your company name in some of the products, or put the products in there, or put your industry in there, or put in your store and the city you're in. What comes up? Because that's going to tell you, as when people are searching for your products or your type of products, this is what's coming up to them. It's not necessarily what you think is coming up, okay? So you want to take that and see that, wow, when they search up, honest travel advice, I don't come up, something else comes up. Why is that? Because then you're going to see this is what happens when new searches about your products or your services come up. That's what they're finding. And that can help you come up with ideas for new content that fits in that area. But it really is good to know is what does come up, because I've worked with clients and they said, we're the only green architect in St. Louis. I'm like, green architect in St. Louis? They're on page like 8 or 9. Okay, so they basically didn't exist. You want to make sure you know where you stand, because you may search and you say, well, I come up number 1. Well, yeah, because the cookies in your search history, Google's going to give you that. Okay, so search on Google, search on Bing, search on other sites and see how you're seen. Now, the second question I want you to ask yourself is, how are you represented in those articles that are online, in the social media posts that come up when you search? And you can search not just in Google or Bing, you can search on social media as well. What does come up? Like, what are people tweeting about us? I mean, is it good stuff they're sharing or is it bad stuff? I've worked with companies before that really the news that came up was about embezzlement in their business, not about their new products or all the stuff they do in their community. No, it was about a vice president that embezzled money. You're like, oh, that's not good. And so by knowing what the bad news that's showing up, if that's what people are seeing, you can develop content to kind of combat that or kind of deal with those potential questions. But also what you want to see is, are your competitors showing up? I mean, there's another company I work with and it was hilarious. They were awesome at SEO. And when you would search in their competition, like directly look up their competitor's name, that guy's company would come up. I'm like, dang, great job with that. And you want to see is if people look up, Professor Wolters, do I come up? Or is it the doctor in Minnesota? Or is it somebody else or the German professor that speaks? What comes up with Professor Wolters? You want to know these things so you can adjust your content. And what do I need to do to make sure I'm number 1? Okay, do I need to change my search and optimization? Do I need to work on my titles, my descriptions? And then my third thing I'd want to bring up is ask yourself, is your message consistent across all platforms? When you're searching for yourself on Google, on Bing, when you show up in Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, does it seem like it's all the same company? Because if you're starting to see that, wow, our content's really showing up like it's 2 different firms or 3 different firms, the Facebook doesn't seem like it's related to the Twitter, which doesn't seem like it's related to the blogs or the videos, then you have an issue. Because you really want to have that coherency across all platforms, okay? And by doing this search, you start to see this is how people are seeing us. They don't realize that this Twitter feed and this Instagram feed and this website are all the same company. We need to work on that, okay? So you ask yourself those 3 questions. That's going to give you a really good start into showing what people see about you and your company online. And if you really want to understand your industry, answer those same questions, do the same things with your competitors. What shows up there? Is it looking good or bad for them? How are they coming across? Because that'll give you an idea of what you're fighting against out in the marketplace. All right. So I hope this helps you have kind of the first simple steps in terms of getting an idea of how your customers see you online. So you have a kind of a base point to go from to improve, to make it a better online experience for your customers. Because this is really vital. If you want to analyze your digital footprint and how it's out there, you have to have an honest look of what you are and where you are today in the eyes of your consumers, not just in your own eyes. All right, so I wish you all the best. I'll say bye from here in Boston.